Hey, and welcome back. So the first thing I want to do here, I want to copy this. I want to create a new file. I want to copy everything from here, Control A, Control C, and put it in here. Then save. Let's call it file2.html. Then I will save that, and now I can use this for our examples. So in this video, I want us to talk about selectors. The first selector that I want to talk about is, I like to call it the tag selector. So any element that is in the HTML, you can take it. Any of these things that have a tag, you can just take it the way it is and you'll style it that way. So if I say body, you've seen I did style body. So this can be an example of a tag selector. Let me take this H1 and just give an example here. Control V. Let's say we want the font size to be 2 EM. So we'll also talk about CSS units. So right now I'm just using them, but I know I will talk about them later on. So if I change this to 2 EM H1, let me come back into the browser, and you can see the size of H1s. If I reload, oh, wrong file. Let me go into the browser with this, open in browser. So this has no change. You can see the first file and the second file. There is no change. So let's come back, and what if I make it 4 EMs? Let's see how that will be. Reload, and you'll see that changes that. So the first selector is the tag selector. Any of these elements you can use as a selector, UL, LI, any of the tags. Anything that has a tag, you can use it as a selector. And then the next selector is the class selector. So a class selector will select that class and style it. So if we choose the class of full page, it will style the full body. Anything with this class will be selected. So you know a class can be applied on different elements. For example, if I had another nav down here, I could apply the same class of nav. For example, I can take this, Control C, and then apply the same class in the ordered lists. So a class can be applied on different elements. So let's use this as an example of the nav class to select this element. So if I come here, and to use a class, you give it the dot, name of the class. That will indicate that this is a class. So let's say that we want to give that nav a background color. We can say blue, and then let's say the color of the text to be white. So if I come here and I reload, you can see we have the background color has changed, but this has not changed because there's a style that is overriding our white color, and that is being overridden by the style of this tag A. So automatically the browser also has some styles that they apply. So it is overriding our class that we've indicated for nav. You can see the class is being overridden because this one is at a lower level than it. If we gave this class a color of white, and we gave this class a color of blue, white will override this because it is at a lower level. And in this case, the A tag is at a lower level than the nav, and therefore it will override the class we've put for the nav. So we will come to another selector which will make sure that we style this correctly. So the video is kind of becoming long, but I just want to do one last selector before we end the video, and that is ID. So an ID selector can only be used once on a page. You cannot have this body ID of page there, and then you also have it here and you have it anywhere else. This is not allowed. You only use an ID once. If this ID is for the page, it can only be used here once on this page. You can use it on another page, but it is only used once on this page. So in this case, we cannot use it here, but if you want to add another ID for H1s, we can add another ID, but we will not use it more than once. We only use it once on a page per element. So if I want to style this ID of page, I'll just take page and then let me put it here because it is after body. So I'll give it that page, and let's say for this one I want to change the font size. So font size is let's say 1.6 EM. Control S. Then I come back, reload, and you'll see that the fonts have increased for nearly everything. So that is something about EMs, and we'll talk about that when we talk about CSS units. You can see it has changed everything, including the H1 tags. So that's about it. So in this video, we have looked at the tag selector, the class selector, and the ID selector. So in the next video, let's continue on to more elaborate selectors that you will need, because these are the more important selectors and they're the ones that you will mostly use to style your web pages. In most cases, especially if you will be creating child themes for WordPress, these are the styles that you will use and get them to work correctly on your child themes or any template that you will be overriding. So see you in the next video.